Today we're going to look at a new dash cam by Carchet. This is the model Discovery T12. It's a dash cam mirror, front and rear. High resolution, 2560 by 1440 front, 1920 by 1080 rear. I'm rendering this out at 4K so that we can display the best possible quality for that front camera. Let's take a look at it. I received the box in the mail. It says Sony semiconductor devices all over it. I wonder what I received. It looks like, ta-da, another mirror mount camera. This one's the model Discovery T12 by Carchet. The manufacturer that sent me this one to evaluate, and the fact that it came in Sony semiconductor boxes probably is a good indication that they're using Sony imagers in them, and they buy them by the box full to mount and, to go into the assembly line. Okay, let's take a look at what we have in the box. We have a forward-facing dash camera. And a rear-facing camera. And basically the camera itself straps up over your mirror, and these loops go on the back. You can adjust them for the size to fit your specific vehicle. I use one of these on my work truck. I've got a camera similar to this, and it's been there for over a year with the secondary camera mounted outside in all weather conditions, and it hasn't failed yet. So generally these things have been relatively good, and I haven't had any issues with any of the ones that I've tried so far. Looking at the specifications, it's got a touchscreen, of course. It's got built-in speaker for sound for playback. Recording resolution for the front camera is 2560 by 1440, and the rear camera is 1080, 1920 by 1080p. And it'll record in MPEG-4 or H.265, I believe. You can select H.264 or H.265 are the two modes that you can select for your encoding. We'll be using H.264 as my editing software only supports that resolution. On the camera itself, your SD card goes in the top here. It uses a standard, I don't know why they don't all go with the same size. This one uses a mini USB, and some will use USB-C. I don't know why they don't all get their act together and use one. For this evaluation, I'm going to temporarily install this one in my car, and we'll see how this mirror performs over the next, I'll leave it in probably for a few days, so we can do some recording during the day and recording at night, and I'll install the GPS as well so we can take a look at the files off of it. Okay, we'll plug in the rear camera and the power, and that should turn the mirror camera on. And of course the micro SD card needs to be formatted, so we're going to go into settings. We'll go into the format SD card and confirm. On our screen we have our initial setup. I'm going to change my encoding from H.265 to H.264. And our language is in English. Loop recording, you can select 1, 3, or 5 minutes. I'll set it to 5 minutes. Time lapse, you can set it to record as 1 second, 2 second, or 3 second time lapse. That's for if you don't want the entire recording. If you just want to, say your car's parked and you just want to frame every 1 second. Driving mode, you can set the G sensor sensitivity to low, middle, or high. This is for impact, so that the files are stored in a separate folder if you're involved in an accident. Parking mode, you can set the G sensor sensitivity to low, middle, or high. This way the camera will come on and record if it detects any bumps or anybody touching your car. I'm not going to set that. And it typically requires a constant power source, such as one of the 3-wire kits, which I'm not going to be hooking up. License, this is where you can put in your license plate for your vehicle if you want to have information. Sleep mode, that'll turn off the display after 1 or 3 minutes or keep the display on. Tap sound, that's just going to be this. Speaker, mute, low, medium, or high. That's for playing back your recordings. The on-off sound, well, that's the noise it makes when it turns on and off. Streaming mode, that's for streaming it to your phone. Date and time, you can set your date and time for the camera, or it will pick up the date and time, I'm assuming, off of the GPS once the GPS module is installed. But you can set the date and time. So right now, if I want to set the date, it's the 30th today, and it's not 16:01, it's actually 12:27. So if I scroll this down here, 12:27, confirm. And is there more to this or not? Yes, there is. Speech recognition. So you can talk to it, turn on screen, turn off screen, turn off audio, video start, lock the video, show fourth camera, show both cameras, take photo, turn on audio, video stop, and show rear camera. So, oh, for the heck of it, we'll turn it on just to play with it here. Okay, back. So right now it's showing the rear camera. Show front camera.
Okay.
Now it's showing the front camera. We'll pull that little lens protector off here. So now it's showing the front camera, and if I say, show rear camera.
Okay.
Okay, there's the rear camera. Show front camera. There's the front camera. So that part works. Show rear camera.
Okay.
So I'm just going to power it up with my good old PowerPoint, and I'm just going to place the GPS little sensor on the dash. I'm not going to attach it or anything. I don't, per se, with these cameras, I don't permanently attach, because I generally try to sell them when I'm done with them, unless it's one I want to keep. The connection cord for the rear camera is 24 feet long. I figured I would mention that. So even if you've got a long vehicle, you can mount the camera, and it's waterproof. So the back camera can go outside. Now I'm using one of these very similar camera to this on my work truck, and I've had the back camera mounted out back for over a year, and it's going strong. Different brand, but looks like to be the same camera. It even has the same sounds when it boots up. Probably the same camera itself, it's just a different brand. Anyway, let me get this mounted. We're going to take it out for a little drive. As I say, I'm not putting this thing permanently, so I'm not even going to show you. I'll show you what the camera looks like mounted, like the mirror, but I'm not going to be showing you guys the installation, because again, it's not a permanent one. To position the angle of view, drag your fingers from the edge of the screen, and that'll move it up or down, so you can pick what angle you'd like to see out your back window if you're using it as a camera. Now, I have not hooked up the red wire in the harness. The red wire would be connected to your backup lights, and what that would do is when you put the car into reverse, it would give you the lines on the screen for backing up. I'm not connecting that as to say I've got a backup camera in the car when it's factory. I'm using this more as a rear view mirror to see what's behind me and to record what's behind me. So this is the first recording I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to take it for a drive, go for lunch, and then we'll take it for a drive later tonight once it gets dark, and see how this one performs. It does show the speed, right? 25 kilometers per hour. It shows your speed off the GPS. So with the GPS module installed, which in my case, I've just got it hanging from hanging by the wire, and it's still working. But with the GPS module installed, not only do you have your recording of what's happening in front of and behind your car, but you've also got your route mapped out with your speed and the time. So if you were involved in an accident, for example, and you needed to rely on your camera footage to prove your innocence, you'd have your exact speed and your location recorded. Now, this could work for or against you. Naturally, if you were speeding and you were involved in an accident, the GPS data could be used to convict you. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you're one of these people that drive around with a lead foot, then maybe it's not a good idea to put the GPS on, and it may be better to not have the GPS on. But if you're one of these people that don't regularly exceed the speed limit, it can certainly give evidence as to how fast you are going, so that you won't be convicted of being at fault in an accident due to excessive speed if you've got your speed logged. So to say, it's a double-edged sword. It works out in your favor, but if you are at fault, it can certainly work out against you, if you get where I'm going. We're going to finish the video up here shortly. I'm just going to give you guys a look of some daytime shots, and then we'll do some shooting in the dark. This is the rear camera. We'll switch back to the front camera, give you the big picture out front. Resolution wise, it's 2560 by 1440 for the front camera at 30 frames per second. Rear camera is 1920 by 1080, again at 30 frames per second, and I have the compression set to H264 as that's what my video editor expects. There's a higher compression, better quality mode called H265. Software such as VLC will play it fine, and any of the newer editing programs will also accept H265. I'm running an old version. I'm still editing using Windows 7 and Adobe Premiere CS6, which the highest resolution this one goes is 4K at 30 frames, H264. So that's what we're dealing with here. Another look out the back camera. As you can see, it shows the speed and the location where the recording was made on the image. And with the mapping software, it will actually display your location on Google Maps. Now, as I already said, I've upscaled this to full 4K 3840 by 2160 from the source, which is 2550 by 1440. I figured it would be better to go up to 4K than to scale it back down to 1080 because you'd be losing some of the detail from the front camera. So what you're seeing here, if you're watching it in 4K, you're seeing about the best that you're going to get out of this camera. And if you're watching it at 1440, which is also an option on YouTube, you're seeing what the camera is capable of displaying. It's actually pretty good. It's not certainly not full 4K, but this is what they would call a 3K camera, which is not bad. It looks pretty good. Okay, that about does it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I think we've done a pretty good job of showcasing the type of quality that you can get off this new camera by Carchet, the Discovery T12. Link is in the description. I think this one's a relatively relatively good for performer, and even the nighttime pictures look brighter than it is in real life. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.